So my name is Abhishek and I represent Nomura for the say equity data analytics team. And we are proud of some of the products and totally goes to KX for the technology which we have used for building. Like some of you, we are one of the say, extensive users of the say product. And we use that for building some of the say tools and technology for the say front office team. So yeah, so first of all, we will go over like say why KX dashboard. Like say when we started, we had kind of say choice of some of the other tool, but we picked this thing based on say some of the say quality features which it has, and I will go over it one by one. Number one actually is simple, like it's just drag and drop authoring, what it says. But before actually I go there, I will just would like to say introduce something that when I started my journey in the say data analytics and started with Q, I came to know very soon that the Q world is divided between say two group of people, and you all will agree, one are called Q for gods, another called Q for mortals. So from there, like say we started and we thought, yeah. So they're like say, and we wanted something which we can actually say leverage with say a lot of different developers who are part of our team, and we call ourselves mortals. So from there, what we can do. So dashboard is actually a very good segue in that direction, which kind of say tries to democratize, as Ashok said, that how we can actually have these tools and technology used by a lot of other developers in that community. And when we started, we have our some of the grads who actually picked up, and the spectrum of the say developers who actually uses this ranges from say grads to the say people who have more than 10% experience. So quite awesome to say build what work you have done and show it to the say users, to the clients, to the say business that you know what, how you can actually say leverage and actually see yourself what actual work we are doing in terms of say data. That's one of the main reason. Secondly, of course, like the powerful and the power of KDB, which comes from the say KDB shell running in the background, and all queries which are actually being executed is actually say using Q as a platform, which provides a say speed to it. Uh, it's flexible, like it, you will see like say it has so many different kind of say components, right from kind of say pivoting features to the say filtering, so on and so forth, which gives you a kind of say whole worth of say ideas to say play around. It's scalable. So once you build this thing, you don't need to worry about like how you're going to deploy to a say large set of users. You can just share the link with all your few users. If you have some way of say account management, you can actually build on top of it. We do use like say authentication entitlement for our users to access. So that's like say pretty powerful. And of course, like say the fast, and it comes from the fact that how you're using, like on what data you are using these dashboard features. So it could be like both say streaming as well as say historical. Some of the say our use cases are say historical, but from the other groups which are within Nomura, they use it for the streaming purpose as well. So yeah, moving ahead. So as we can see, right, there are many endless say possibilities which you can actually say create using these dashboard. It helps us to be a lot more creative. We try to first go to say different business users. We try to understand like say what kind of problem they're trying to solve. What could be the best way to represent their say data set? How could they leverage this say on top of their data to provide some say slice and dice or some say drill down facility, or they are really into kind of say visualization that say if I would like to represent my data in this way, that way. So we first try to understand, and these kind of say different graphs and tools are kind of say really helpful to kind of say go there. I mean, I won't go over each of them, but you can get the point. Like say these are one of the say data storytelling points. So I would start with like say what was the say reason we kind of say adopted this tool in the first place for solving which business problem. So the tool which we use is called client diagnostics, and it's one of a kind. Like say generally in this industry, I've seen people build tools for kind of analyzing their own risk and positions, but this comes as a way that say it builds clients view of their positions, and then it tries to aggregate across all of your clients. So now think this way, that you are a kind of say a system which receives clients order from, and many clients actually say giving you these orders, sending you. And if you have a way to look at it that say the orders which you received and you fulfilled, but the orders which you didn't, how about those? Like say where they are going, what you can do with those, like the one which you missed. So we try to aggregate across all the orders, across all the clients, and see like say create some hypothetical use cases, like say if we got this thing, how we are going to manage those orders, like say what kind of different say hedging strategies we are going to play with this thing. So these are like say typical simulation thing which we try to do on top of those kind of say orders. And then the interesting part, so we now have different clients who are sending orders, and we try those simulations, and then we compare with our own risk and positions, which are our own tools, side by side to see, like, say, what we did versus what we could have done. And these comparisons provides business sales immense amount of, say, extraction of potential opportunities, which they could have, say, got, but they might not have, maybe rightly for, say, for right reasons, but at least to see, like, say, what's kind of say, left on the plate. And lastly, like, say, since this tool could be used across range of, say, data set, which kind of say our HDBs are storing, we can actually say compare this some of the client's behavior over a period of time, which also kind of say quite useful, like say, are there any toxicity involved, or kind of say, is there any pattern which we could have extracted? So these are like say super useful, say, requirements, which we started, like say, so that was kind of say start of it. Then we found when we kind of say start implementation, we figured out, like say, the originating trades as well as the missed trades are coming out to be the, say, two main criteria under which we would like to see. So the ones which are originating are the one we kind of say accepted, and the missed are the ones which we missed. And then the requirement was this, that say, how we can actually slice dice on this thing, how we can drill down on that thing. Say, so suppose if we receive the order from a, say, different client level, can we drill down to at the, say, book level, then we drill down to ticker level? And is there any feature by which we can actually, say, reverse this order? Like, say, can we get at the book level and then drill down to, say, client level and ticker level, so on and so forth, or try kind of a combination as I just told. So these are the, say, few criteria, few of the requirements on which we started, and we thought like what tool and technology we should be using to solve this problem. So of course, like Q and KDB was kind of a choice beyond doubt, because we were kind of say dealing with a, say, huge amount of, say, client data set. And on top of it, we had to marry them with all the vendor data, which is like, say, your tag, your, say, other reference data information to compute and go back in history and kind of say, compute all the, say, different scenarios and store them. But that's kind of a we doing, but how then kind of we present this information to user in a way so that they can play around with this information to extract something. So that was a, say, pivot point I would try and say talk about, which kind of led us to, say, trying to search for different dashboard solutions. And we tried few which are very popular in the market, but eventually, like, we kind of say focused on, say, dashboard, and we can see like in some of the coming slides that why that's so. So yeah, of course, pivoting for deeper insight. So the main feature which we kind of led us to this thing is kind of say how we can actually go into different levels and compare and say do a further drill down of those things. So suppose if I'm at the, say, account level, can I go to the, say, book level, do further drill down? If I'm at the book level, can I go to account level, do a drill down, vice versa, and do, say, some combination of these. So breadcrumbs is one of the main feature which comes with the dashboard, which allows us to do that, which we will see in a, say, upcoming, say, demo, which is the next slide, I believe. So this is a video which got created based on some of the mock data set, and based on my kind of, say, description, KX team came up with that. So you can see, right, so we are selecting some of the, say, filtering criteria, like on which business that we would like to, say, run the simulation, on which hedging criteria we would like to run, what are my crossing, like, are we looking for kind of, say, cross all versus kind of, say, some, say, combination of crossings, which universe, so on and so forth. And the moment I submit, it kind of says immediately brings in all my pre-computed data set to the, say, my output, and I can I can actually browse through that, say, how that looks like. And then on top of it, what you're seeing right now is actually the breadcrumb thing that the moment I selected, it kind of allows me to, say, do a further drill down. And while I'm doing so, you can see like these are like, say, pretty dynamic in nature. Say the graphs are kind of, say, changing based on the, say, data set selection. And on top of it, you can see that, say, breadcrumb thing is working. Like, say, you can see the moment I'm selecting any, say, account, it's showing up. And then you have, say, different filter and drill down, say, thing there. So yeah, I will just kind of, say, pause it here and go to the, say, next slide. So this pivoting is one of the, say, main feature, but that was not the, say, only thing we wanted. We also wanted a way by which how I can simulate these scenarios. Like, can I do my filtering? Can I select say all these kind of say criteria, like say how much crossing I want, how much hedging I want, which hedging thing, strategy I would like to run. So all these things comes under the runs in the backend, which is our KDB and Q. And while it provides the user interface to extract those into the dashboard and then combine it with all the other pivoting things. So now think of this way, like say you have all those filtering things to play around and on one side, and you have all the other different filtering things to play around. And now you kind of do a multiplication of that. So that comes with so many different strategies. So it gives like business a good way that try out these scenarios, see that under which scenario you would like to play, and see for your client level, client view of thing, that how much kind of P&L they are making versus what you are expecting, and extract more business idea from using those. So we will see some example of those filtering things. So I can see like I can select a date, then run it for the range of dates to see like what are the different trade types I would like to run, like for my originating, which are like still in my book. Can I try a different crossing strategy? Like if I would have accepted all versus kind of few, and then try the hedging percentage, like 2%, 3%, whatever. We will see like the data loads up in the bottom table. And as we go up, and you can see like this provides another drill down to the books and accounts, and by side, I can see like my graph is also kind of changing based on these selections. And these kind of pivoting things are kind of quite powerful. And think of this way that behind the scene, a lot of competition is happening, but you can see the results coming out very in the lightning speed. And that's one of the super useful feature to try it out. So yeah, I will kind of go over some of the use cases, like which we observed based on these scenarios. Like first one is kind of course, it enables our non-technical users to play with the data itself, which is like our sales team, our business team, they would like to see these scenarios, play around with them before they actually go to the client, try it out by themselves. So that gives them a quite a good centralized tool for gaining insights. Second is, of course, the performance, which we are getting, having KDB in the backend, which allows us to run all these competition in side by side, store it in overnight and save it, and use the dashboard to access and give it to the user for analysis. And the last is actually very much close, which I just touched upon at the start. Like it helps us into decouple of the our infrastructure, or our platform into data infrastructure versus data analytics. So what I mean here is this, that we can have a horizontal layer of developers who are building our ticket plan, who are building our kind of competition solution, who are kind of ensuring like HDBs are kind of up, all those things. But we can now have vertical team of group of developers who are working with different business into bringing their data and using some of the feed handlers which we have developed, as well as bringing these solutions using dashboard to explain them, you know what, these are the technologies you can use to see your data, try different scenario analysis, and then kind of take your business using those kind of tools and technology, like how you can actually expand your business and find more ideas. Unless we provide them a way to play with that data, they just kind of know like something is computed and provided to them using some kind of Excel sheet. But given the dynamic nature of this thing, given the the backend which runs all these things based on our selection, this comes across as a very powerful tool. So that's pretty much my time here. Thanks everyone. Yep. Thanks for your time.